So can you tell us a little bit more about the protocol that you have to go through from planting to harvest? And I'm assuming that protocols can be different for different varieties of trees, but if you can kind of group them together to explain, that would be helpful.
Yeah. So when we get our liners in the springtime, the liners, anything that we plant out in the field, some nurseries, they're all bare roots, some they're in containers, some they're in grow bags. Well, we run the gamut. We have some trees that are harder to transplant that come in root maker pots, any type of, I shouldn't say root maker, air root pruning pot. We have several brands that we're using. So some plants have soil around the roots, some are bare root, and then some of the grow bags that we cut off. So all three products we ended up taking and we run through the same system. The same system using the Holganix product lineup. So in the springtime, we'll have all of our plants that come in from our different vendors, little guys, and we have a 500-gallon cattle trough, a trough that you could pick up galvanized from Tractor Supply or any vendor like that. So we'll mix up a slurry of the Holganix root stimulant. Everything gets dipped in that for anywhere from a half hour to an hour to allow it to soak it up and get fully hydrated. And then we'll take that out and plant it out in the field immediately. So we'll go through, we'll get everything straightened up, get the soil graded around every tree. So we have the root flare pretty much at grade. We'll stake everything. And then the first application that spring, end of spring. So we try to hit mid-June till probably like the 4th of July. We try to finish our fertilizer package. And again, we use the Holganix product lineup for that. And then, normal production cycles, keeping the weeds down through the first summer. And then fall, we'll actually put down our first pre-emergent application to keep the weeds away. That winter, we will start doing our pruning. So just before Christmas, and we're finishing up some of the stuff we're finishing up now. There's a few things we'll hit up later, like our hollies will tip up after Valentine's Day, but before they start to push new growth. Once we're done with our pruning, that's when we get into our fertilizing second cycle. So we'll use the Holganix product lineup again for a winter feed as well. So once we get done with that, everything pushes in the spring. We'll start to do some tipping of plant material that's still left in the field, like end of May, early June, and again finish that up by the 4th of July. And as soon as we're done with that, that's when we hop into our third cycle of the Holganix fertilization package with the granular out on the field. So most of our plants are in a minimum of 18 months, but realistically, we try to be in there that 24 to 30 month range. So we'll harvest in the spring and fall. There's been some other products that have been on the market, a couple decades. We've been using the Holganix liquid product to do some out of season harvest. I know that there's some products or some philosophies where you can't dig certain plants in the fall and forget about harvesting certain plants in the summertime. Well, we've been able to do a lot of trialing. We've made some mistakes along the way, but that's why we do the trials. So we've been using the Holganix liquid root stimulant in the summertime. Usually everything's got to be hardened off. So you're looking at second week in July till maybe the first week in August, when before the second flush of growth starts to push. We'll dig a trench around the plant, usually at the critical root zone. So you're looking around 20 away from the root flare. We'll dig a trench. So then that allows the soil to get, we'll do that one day. We'll come back a second day, and then we'll do an application of the liquid Holganix. So we'll normally put that in a tray. So the tray is around 6 to 8 inches deep, and it goes around the entire tree. So that allows it to soak in slowly, so the tree can fully absorb it as well. And then we'll come back usually the third day. We try to do our harvesting, between 6 in the morning, 6 and 9, give or take, watching the weather. If we can time that on a cloudy, overcast day, get it early in the morning, the leaves will really hold their turgor pressure a lot better. And then we'll harvest it, and then we take it right back into near our office. We have we call it the water pit, and that's exactly what it is. It's about a foot deep, and then we'll fill it up with water, and then again throw more Holganix in it, Holganix liquid, and we'll let the tree sit there for I'd like to get a minimum of 2 days, and that allows more and more of the root stimulant to be able to get absorbed. What we're looking for is the plant to hold turgor pressure. If we're seeing the leaves start to wilt or turn black, obviously it's not gonna make it out in the landscape. But we've seen great results. We've learned a few things that we can't do, like maybe cherries in the summertime yet. But even last year, if you recall, July and August were pretty brutal. We were digging river birch in full leaf, and they didn't lose turgor pressure at all. So when you're digging a 8 to 10 or 10 to 12 foot river birch, and that holds full turgor pressure in July, you got something good going on, and we've got it figured out to a science there. And then even in the fall, we'll kick back in. Realistically, digging trees in the fall means that the leaves should become dormant. At least changing color, if not dropping. Where that envelope's been pushed the last several years as well, to where, hey, it's Labor Day, it's fall. Well, not necessarily in the tree world. So we'll kick in the same process of summer digging in early fall. In like mid-September, we'll start to dig through when the leaves start to turn or even become senescent for the season.
Hey, Chris, how much do you think that process is actually extending your harvest time? So say that you typically have 6 months of harvest time, and I can be using the wrong number. What's it changed to now because of your process?
It's probably added another 30% to our season. So in the springtime, we don't really need the Holganix, because it's just so great. So we'll start digging, weather permitting, end of February, early March, and then we'll really dig until the buds start to swell, and then you're shut down. I haven't been able to find anybody to really do too much beyond that. But once you get into the new growth hardening off there, like I said, the second week in July, that used to be a no man's land where maybe you could dig some arborvitaes, some pines and spruce, and hopefully the candles hold up on those. But now we've just opened up a whole new window for deciduous material that was almost a no-no, a decade ago. The old nurseryman would have scoffed. You're throwing those trees away. We've added a month in the summertime to harvesting, and then in the fall we're probably adding a month and a half to 2 months earlier that we can now harvest material.
Yeah, I was just curious because we see that in a lot of different industries where it's increasing harvest time. Sometimes it's speeding up the process, such as with like a sod farm, where they're getting the plants to maturity faster, and they're actually able to turn over their crops, for lack of a better term, quicker. So that's interesting that you actually get to extend your harvest time so that you can sell plants for a longer period of time throughout the season.
Correct. And even we used to, for our production methods, we don't have irrigation out in the fields. We do spot irrigating, especially our spot irrigating the first year when we line our material out, February, March, early April, we get those liners out in the field. We'll come back and we'll water as necessary the first year, and that's it. We don't come back and water the second or third year. And so having the Holganix, we're using the dip so the trees get established out in the field faster the first year, and then we're coming back and doing the supplemental fertilizing, February, March, and then June and July. So that's the only pushing that we really do, and we're cranking out trees. We're putting like an inch and a quarter liner out in the field, and we're turning that into a 2-inch tree 18 months later. That used to take us 24 to 30. So we're turning trees faster. So I figure it takes $22 a year to grow a tree. So if the tree used to take me 24 to 30, and now it's taking me half that, I'm saving anywhere from $22 to $32 a tree.
Yeah, it's all profit.
It is.
So